Hi everyone, it's Tom Toole here coming to you with episode number 23 of Tom's Take. And let's get right into it with a major question within the industry right now, as well as among economists, financial experts, consumers, realtors, lenders, everyone involved in real estate or the financial health of the country in general wants to know if we're in another housing bubble. That's the big question. So rather than speculate here, let's look at the data, and we're going to get into some real key trends here historically to show where we are right now momentarily. But first, you want to acknowledge what's happening right now. So according to the U.S. National Home Price Index, throughout all 9 census districts in the country, so that includes everywhere, and those are some very diverse markets, home prices are up through May 5.6% from where they were last year. So we're seeing the same sort of appreciation rate pretty much across the board, whether you're on the West Coast, the Northeast, the South, the Midwest, wherever. We're seeing the same trends. So that's important to acknowledge that stat. And that's why people are questioning, are we in a bubble? So then we go into a little deeper and let's look at some economic conditions here. So right now what's very clear is home prices are outpacing not only inflation, but also wages. Another reason why people think we're in a bubble. And the last factor is that supply is declining. It's not increasing. If you've watched any of these videos before, I've been talking about inventory levels being low. That hasn't changed, and it's not going to change in the near future based on everything we're looking at here. So let's acknowledge all those factors, and then let's look at some historical data here. So we're going to put up some charts here in a second right on the video. The first is going to show what happened with the median home price in the U.S. from the beginning of the 2000s up until where we are today in 2017. So let's put that up there, and what you'll see is that we know that prices rose dramatically in the early 2000s. They really outpaced all the historical trends. And then in 2008, the market crashed. And when the market crashed, prices came down. And then once we got to the bottom of the market, right at the end of 2012, you'll see that in 2013, prices continue to rise. So we kind of know what the actual market cycle is. Now let's back this up. Another important historical trend we want to acknowledge here to really understand if we're in a bubble or not is that the historical year-over-year appreciation for home prices in the U.S. is 3.6%. That's the average across the country. So let's use that 3.6% number. We're going to put another chart up here, and let me just thank our friends at Keeping Current Matters for all this data. They put this together beautifully. And what we'll see here is that if you take the beginning of the 2000s and you apply that 3.6% appreciation rate year over year, look at the historical data. It's normal. So if the crash didn't happen, obviously it did, but if it didn't happen based on where we were before all those predatory lending practices caused the market to crash, we'll see that we're about where, almost exactly where we would have been had home prices have appreciated at the normal rate over the past 17 years. So that chart really demonstrates that very clearly we are not in a housing bubble right now. That is the answer to the question. And a lot of the experts out there agree. The last piece here to really keep in mind is that buying has not become unaffordable. And what I mean by that is rates are still coming in the 4% range, which makes it very affordable for buyers. Even though prices are going up, we're seeing that home sales in our market are still increasing in the greater Philadelphia area. Buyers are still competing for properties. So all that tells me buying is not affordable right now, along with where the rates are, because these 4% rates are historically low. So again, the answer to the question here is we are not in a housing bubble right now. If you have any further questions about this, why don't you post some comments below? We'd love to answer them. And know that if you're a buyer or a seller thinking about making a real estate decision, we've got another 2 to 3 years left in this run. That's what all the experts are saying, and it's based on all the data I showed you here. So keep that in mind, and certainly if there's specific questions, contact us on social, comment below, and do me a favor, share this video if you think it would be helpful with somebody. Thanks for watching Tom's Take. We'll talk to you next week.